Mm-hmm. Yes, we want to thank you so much for joining us today in this our program called The Media Perspective. The Media Perspective is where we review the news trending in Abia and in Nigeria generally. A lot of things have been happening from Monday to this particular day. So we are reviewing the news. I want you to just stay relaxed, listen, and while I bring up my opinions on different issues happening around us. Remember that you can share this this post, you can share this content everywhere so that other people can enjoy this post with you. You can actually watch this video on all our social media handles. On Facebook, you can find it on All Facts Newspaper. On YouTube, you can find it on AF Television. Remember, this is Media Perspective, where we look at issues from the perspective of the media. My name is Emenike Rebu, and today I will be reviewing those contents. My other partner will be behind the scene, where she will be asking me questions and I'll be responding to. Yes, Maureen, it's your time. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. According to All Facts News, court awards 20 million naira damages to Kenneth Ahia SAN in defamation suit against Ikechukwu Iroha and ordered a public apology and 500,000 naira to be paid for his legal expenses. What is the implication of this decision of the court in Abia media space?
Thank you very much, Maureen. This is a very important court decision, which the court took some few days ago. This matter is between Leonard Silk, Kenneth Ahia SAN, and Mr. Ikechukwu Iroha. Kenneth Ahia said that Iroha wrote some things on the social media, which is a defamation on his character. And based on that particular post, he sued Kenneth Ahia. He sued Ikechukwu Iroha, demanding that Ikechukwu Iroha damage his reputation and other things. So, as of 2 days ago, the court came up with a decision. The court that is sitting in Lagos came up with a decision and decided that indeed Ikechukwu Iroha defamed the character of Kenneth Ahia and that he should pay 20 million naira for damages. He should tender an apology. And equally, he should pay 500,000 naira for legal expenses of Kenneth Ahia SAN. So, what is the implication of this decision of the court as regards media activities in and around Abia State and in Nigeria? Because this decision of the court can actually be referred to by other cases in any part of Nigeria. So, what are we saying here? It means that anything you are publishing online has implications. If you want to go online to publish any information, you must make sure that you have your facts correct. Your facts must be intact. You must exactly know what you are saying. You can't just come online and begin to write anything you want to write. You write allegations you don't have facts about because you just hear from somebody saying this or that. So this particular decision of the court will make sure that people, whatever you're writing online, you must make sure you have your facts. Your facts you must have. And the truth remains again that Ikechukwu Iroha has a right for appeal. He has a right to appeal to the appeal court. Meanwhile, the twist about this matter is that the Leonard Silk himself, Kenneth Ahia, is saying that he is not okay with the damages or damage of 20 million that the court levied Ikechukwu to pay him. He said he's going to the appeal court to demand for more. So you see, this matter is a matter for everyone to learn a lesson. I keep saying that, look, we must all learn a lesson. Everything we write online has implications. We must be careful what we write. If you must write about somebody or raise any allegation online, you must have the capacity to prove those allegations you are writing. You must know that whoever you are writing about has a right to seek redress. And the most civilized way to seek redress is in the court of law. So I think the implication basically is that people will be more careful, people will be more circumspect, people must make sure that before they write, they have all the facts. Yes, Maureen, over to you.
Okay. The second question goes this way. Coup has been trending recently in our country and African countries too. Today, some military officers are being arrested. What exactly is happening and why is it happening?
Yes, you know that this issue of coup has been happening recently in so many, so many African countries. Even our nearby country, Niger Republic, the military took over some years ago, about a year plus ago. The military took over that country, and we have other countries in Africa where military has been taking over activities of government. And just recently in Nigeria, the news broke that there was a coup planned to topple this present democratic government we have in Nigeria. But the coup, based on what we are hearing, because the government have not come out fully to state that exactly a coup happened. The military leadership too have not come out openly to state that a coup happened. But the news have been trending, and credible news platforms have been publishing that same news, including our platform, All Facts Newspaper. We've also published that. So this coup news have been trending, and it's becoming scary. The truth remains that the worst form of democracy is better than the best form of military governance. That is the truth. In military governance, all these rights me and you exhibit is not available. It's operated on martial law. It's operated on military. You know what military means? Force. Yeah. So the fact remains that the worst kind of democracy is better than the best form of military governance. But what exactly is attracting the military to come back to government? One of the things that are very important that we must look into is the inability of democratic government to solve the problem of the people. The essence where governments are elected and they come into power is to be able to resolve these problems of the people, to provide what we call dividends of democracy, to allow the people free speech, to allow the people freedom of association, to allow the people freely demand what they want. But sometimes in these so-called democracies in Africa, what we are beginning to see are presidents who internally are wearing military clothes. They appear as democratic governments, but their actions do not portray democratic activities. For example, in our country, Nigeria, at the moment, if you even demonstrate in Nigeria, protest is one of the fundamentals of democracy. You may be arrested. This same thing happens in the military. You dare not protest in the military era. So you see, if things that are not acceptable in the military, which should be acceptable in the democratic era, are also not acceptable, that means there is a thin line between military government and democratic government in our continent. So you see, these are the things beginning to lure military takeovers in different nations. Because even the people of these nations are even beginning to desire military leadership than democratic leadership. There are so many countries like the one we have in Niger Republic. The citizens even ask military to come and take over. It is because of bad leadership. So you find that one of the key problems we're having is that our democratic system in Africa, a lot of them are not working. And these are making the people, the citizens, who are supposed to desire democracy more, to now desire military leadership in their countries. So again, another thing again is which we must look into is this, is that some military people still do not believe that the time for military leadership is over. This is the time where people need to lead themselves. But just like I said, our people desire democracy that works. And most times when democracy do not work, that is when you begin to see military get enticed to come back to leadership. But my first word I've continued to say is that the worst form of democracy is better than the best form of military rule. But our leaders have to do better. Our leaders must behave like democrats. Our leaders must allow the will of the people to prevail. That is democracy. Democracy is defined as a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Anytime democracy becomes the government of one man, by one man, and for one man, it becomes a military government in disguise of democracy, which is what we are seeing in so many of our countries in Africa. So, we do not want military rule, but democratic leaders should not encourage by their actions military to come back to government. Maureen, over to you.
Thank you for that response. So, it will be tough for Governor Alex Otti if Uzor Kalu's brother Mascot runs for governorship election, says Primate Ayodele. What do you think about this?
You know that number one is that I am an Abian. I am a born Omaswa man from Ikechukwu local government in Abia State. So this state is one state that I hold very dear in my heart. I love Abia State. And why I love Abia State is not far-fetched. It is left for us as Abians to make Abia what we want Abia to be. Yes, the truth remains that Mascot Uzor Kalu, who is the younger brother to Senator Uzor Kalu, has all the qualifications and criteria to run for governor of Abia State. Of course, he can be voted for and he can vote. So nobody denies the fact that he has all it takes to run for governor. He is qualified in all ramifications, except if there are things I do not know for now. But as much as I know now, Mascot Uzor Kalu is qualified to run for governor of Abia State under any platform. But the question now is he a threat to Governor Alex Otti's re-election in 2027? That is the question. And my response will be capital no. Governor Alex Otti has not done everything in Abia State. There is still so much to be done. But the little that Governor Alex Otti have done has given Abians a good impression of what leadership looks like. A lot of Abians who have not seen any element of good governance for long years of democratic leadership in the state are beginning to see something that looks as though there is leadership in the state. So many people have been wowed. The kind of projects we are seeing today in Abia are projects we only dream of before. The kind of leadership we are seeing in Abia are the leadership we desire from other states before. But now, in Abia State, other states are now desiring to be Abians. Other states are even desiring for us to loan them our governor for a few years for him to help them. So, the governor has done so well at this moment for the past 2 years, and a lot of Abians are at the moment supporting him. Without choice of words, as it is today, if Governor Alex Otti maintains his momentum this way, from now till the next election, I do not see anybody that can stand and contest against the governor that will become a threat, except if something happens, or maybe the governor goes astray. But as the momentum is now, I do not see it. A lot of things that used to be history before is now a reality. Look at Port Harcourt Road in Aba. Look at the bridge, that bridge, what do they call it? Yes, they call it Omeniko Bridge. Look at the Omahia, Bende, Ohafia, Go Abreba, Ohafia Road. Look at the massive projects. Look at the Ikotekpele Road, Omahia, Ikotekpele Road project is just flagged off. These are projects that are dreamed to Abians before. Today we are beginning to see reality. Look at our schools. Look at our hospitals. For me, as a media person, as an Abian, objective view, the governor has done well. All we are asking the governor to do is to maintain momentum. In fact, increase the momentum in terms of project and project delivery. That is what's very important. If the governor can maintain that, I don't think Mascot Uzor Kalu has a place in this election. Remember that the same Mascot Uzor Kalu ran for election in 2020, the last election, 2023. I can't even remember the number of votes he got. So I think that comparison by that primate, is he prophetess or whatever, I think that prophet should be questioned. I don't think he's seeing well. Yeah, that's my opinion on that.
Okay, question number 4 and the last one.
Yes.
According to All Facts newspaper, Abia records 100% increase in public school enrollments. Please share your thoughts on this.
Yes, of course, just like what I've said earlier on, that Governor Alex Otti has raised the bar of leadership in Abia State. And that raising the bar of leadership in Abia State, they know is not only limited to infrastructural development. It also has a good touch on the area of education in Abia State. Today, a lot of our schools are being renovated. A lot of our schools are being upgraded. Today, we are beginning to witness what the government calls smart schools in Abia State. Of course, if you go around, you will see them. You must also know that the government introduced and insisted on free education in Abia State. You know the cost of education outside. Now, if you have a school that is renovated and that is beautiful, and you have free education, and you have good teachers, what again will you be leaving your child in private school for? Also remember that recently the government employed about 8,000 teachers, which have been circulated to so many schools. Schools that usually have 1 or 2 teachers before now have up to 10 teachers. That is to show you how intentional the government is in education. So the activities of the government in education has encouraged parents to pull out their wards and children from so many other schools around who are private schools. We may not even have as much quality as the government school has now to put them into government school. So I must applaud the government for their foresight in the area of education, what the government is doing in the area of education, and we must say that Abia State is on the right march at the moment.
Okay, that's all for now.
Okay, yes, thank you very much, Maureen. Thank you for this brief interaction on review. Today, we have been able to look at the issue of Kenneth Ahia SAN and Ikechukwu Iroha, the matter we discussed here today. We looked at the issue of coup and what is actually causing those coups. We've looked at the issue of Mascot Uzor Kalu versus Governor Alex Otti, which is very funny. We have also looked at the education turn-up in Abia State. And I want to tell you, thank you very much for joining us on this program today. Just keep watching with us. Make sure you share all our posts on all your social media handles. You can partner with us to make sure informations go far and wide in our state and in Nigeria. God bless you. My name remains Emeniki Rebu, and I'm the reviewer today. God bless you.